I am Dominus Cinephile.
Welcome to my movie and TV series reviews, where I will provide honest opinions of the latest releases. If the movie or TV series is a hit or a miss, be sure to know I will inform you. But if the movie or series is trash, be also sure to know that I will trash the hell out of the movie. I am Dominus Cinephile.
And the movie on the review table today is the Nollywood film Love in Every Word. Love in Every Word is a 2025 Nollywood romantic comedy written by Mfon Abasi Michael Inyang, directed by Stanley Obi, and produced by Omoni Oboli. The film features Nollywood actor Uzor Arukwe alongside former Big Brother Naija star BamBam Olawumi Adenibuyan, Osereme Inegbenebor, Amanda Iriekpen, and Thelma Chukwunwemn. Premiering on Omoni Oboli's YouTube channel on March 7, 2025, the film swiftly became her most successful digital release, garnering over 2 million views in less than 24 hours and climbing to 4.3 million views within 72 hours. However, its explosive ascent was abruptly jeopardized when, on its third day, the movie was forcefully removed from the platform due to a contentious copyright claim by Chinonso Obiora, also known as Skyberry. This sudden takedown ignited widespread outrage and fierce debate across social media. Undeterred, Oboli and her team responded decisively, restoring the film to her channel, Omoni Oboli TV, by Wednesday morning, just hours after its removal. By that point, the film had already captivated digital audiences with over 7 million views in just 3 days. And as of today, it continues to dominate YouTube with more than 10 million views in only 6 days. Love in Every Word is a powerful tale of love, sacrifice, and unwavering persistence. The film follows Chioma, a driven and ambitious young woman who embarks on a journey to her hometown in Anambra for her cousin's wedding, only to find herself entangled in an unexpected romance with Odogwu Obiora. Despite sharing a magical first date and experiencing his warmth, Chioma resists any deeper connection. Her hesitation isn't just about love, it's about identity. Odogwu, an unapologetically proud Igbo man with a strong accent and deep-rooted cultural values, challenges everything she thought she wanted. To Chioma, he represents a world she has tried to distance herself from. But Odogwu is relentless. His unwavering love, grand gestures, and undeniable sincerity begin to break down the walls Chioma has built. Slowly, she confronts her fears, unlearns her biases, and surrenders to a love she never saw coming. In the end, she embraces both Odogwu and the cultural heritage she once resisted, proving that love isn't just about the heart, it's about acceptance, courage, and the willingness to rewrite one's own story. Great synopsis, right? But let's get into the real discussion. Does this record-breaking Nollywood film actually live up to its staggering YouTube view count? Or is it just another overhyped disaster disguised as a blockbuster rom-com? What initially drew me to this movie wasn't the plot or the cast. It was the sheer buzz surrounding it on practically every social media platform. At first, I had no intention of watching, let alone reviewing it. But as always, a persistent friend convinced me to give it a shot. And since it was on YouTube, it wouldn't cost me anything beyond data, unlike those Nollywood cinema releases that demand outrageous ticket prices in this harsh Agbado republic. Here's the thing about YouTube. The numbers don't lie. Unlike Nigerian box office figures, where millions and even billions of naira are casually thrown around with little transparency, YouTube views are raw, unfiltered, and impossible to manipulate. There's no faking engagement. Every click, every watch, and every rewatch is accounted for. So the real question is, does Love in Every Word truly deserve its skyrocketing numbers, or is it just another Nollywood illusion? Let's find out. The movie kicks off at an agonizingly slow, snail-like crawl. In the opening scene, we see BamBam's character breaking up with her boyfriend, a moment that offers the audience a small glimpse of what to expect from her role. There's nothing particularly impressive about this scene. It's straightforward in both its cinematography and dialogue. Just a simple breakup between a hardworking woman and her weak, deadbeat boyfriend who has drained her of both time and money. No groundbreaking storytelling, no gripping tension, just a functional introduction to the plot. But where the scene truly stumbles is in the performances, particularly from the actor playing the boyfriend. His acting is painfully flat, his body language stiff and unconvincing. Every line he delivers feels robotic, devoid of any real emotion. With each wooden one-liner, it becomes glaringly obvious. This guy is not a trained actor. By this point, I was uneasy. If this was the level of acting the movie had to offer, I was in for a rough ride. But I pushed on, hoping, praying that things would improve in the coming scenes. The film did make some improvements in its storytelling under the director's vision. But where it truly stumbles is its inability to make the most of its limited cast. Hollywood has proven time and again that a small ensemble can be just as compelling, if not more, when backed by sharp writing and strong performances. The Sunset Limited, Tommy Lee Jones, Samuel L. Jackson, and The Lighthouse, Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, are prime examples of films that thrive with just two actors. Hard Candy, James Caan, Kathy Bates, and Ex Machina, Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, also showcase how a cast of four can still deliver gripping narratives. These films succeed because they rely on meticulously crafted dialogue, powerful performances, and an immersive atmosphere. Love in Every Word attempts to emulate this approach, but ultimately falls short. The dialogue lacks the depth and sharpness needed to sustain such an intimate, character-driven experience. Strong monologues, which are crucial in films of this nature, are either absent or underdeveloped, leaving the story feeling hollow. As a rom-com within the Nollywood landscape, it holds its own with a simple, straightforward plot. However, predictability weighs it down. You see every moment coming long before it happens, robbing it of any real engagement. One of the film's biggest missteps is its baffling approach to crowd scenes, or rather, the complete absence of them. Take, for instance, the moment when Chioma's mother calls to remind her about her cousin's marriage introduction, urging her to attend. The scene sets the stage for what should be a lively, culturally rich event, but what follows is nothing short of cinematic laziness. When we cut to the day of the introduction, the setup is already shaky. Chioma arrives, spots Obiora, and immediately reacts like she's falling head over heels. I'll get to her confusing emotional state later. But the real issue? The supposed marriage introduction event feels like a ghost town. The sheer madness of this scene is that, despite being a traditional gathering, the event is practically empty. The only people present are Chioma, her cousin, her mother, and Obiora. 4 characters in total, awkwardly placed in a setting that's meant to depict a communal occasion. At no point does the atmosphere feel like an actual event. There's no crowd, no background activity, nothing to sell the idea that a marriage introduction is even happening. What should have been an engaging, culturally vibrant scene instead feels lifeless and unconvincing. Worse still, it makes Obiora's introduction to the plot feel forced, as if the film couldn't be bothered to craft a more immersive or meaningful setup. Nearly every scene in this movie, 99.9% of it, is confined within 4 uninspired walls. From Chioma's bedroom to her friend's living room, her dull office space, a tiny shop, and a basic restaurant, the film feels like it was shot on a shoestring budget with zero effort to create visual variety. Worse still, the cinematography is just as lazy. Most scenes are shot from a single, monotonous angle, particularly in Chioma's office, where the camera work is both mundane and frustrating. Instead of dynamic framing or creative direction, the shots seem obsessed with capturing the backsides of every female character who walks into the office. The result? A series of lifeless, unimaginative talking head scenes that do nothing to elevate the storytelling. But the real insult to intelligence comes after Obiora tracks Chioma down at work with a full-blown traditional band just to ask for her number. In the very next scene, on the same day, he takes her to dinner and in the middle of their conversation, casually asks her where she works. Seriously? This is the same man who not only showed up at her workplace, but bought the entire building just to get close to her. And yet, he's now pretending he doesn't know where she works. The sheer inconsistency in the writing is ridiculous. It's as if the script forgot its own plot within the span of a single scene. This kind of sloppy, lazy storytelling is exactly why Nollywood films struggle with credibility. As is the case with many Nollywood films, the sound in this movie was subpar and the lighting was downright abysmal. I'd like to believe the poor production quality wasn't a deliberate choice just because the film was made for YouTube, but at this point, it's hard to ignore. Lighting is one of the most critical elements of filmmaking. It shapes the mood, enhances visual storytelling, and guides the audience's emotions. In a romantic film, proper lighting is essential for creating warmth, intimacy, and emotional depth. Soft, warm lighting can make scenes feel tender and heartfelt, while dim or candle-lit settings can enhance the romance. When combined with the right background score, lighting can elevate a scene. Gentle melodies with soft lighting evoke love, while dramatic music paired with moody lighting intensifies emotional moments. But in this movie, the lighting is outright terrible. The director had no clear vision of how to use it effectively, resulting in scenes that felt flat, uninspired, and visually dull. Instead of enhancing the storytelling, the poor lighting choices made the film look amateurish. The sound design wasn't any better. Rather than complementing the scenes, the background score often felt misplaced and distracting, pulling the audience out of key moments instead of immersing them in the story. The result? A film that failed to create the emotional depth and connection that a romance should have. If anything, the poor lighting and sound made it even harder to take the story seriously. Despite its many flaws and disappointments, Love in Every Word isn't entirely without merit. The film's strongest point lies in its central theme, the love story between a wealthy Igbo man and a well-educated, hardworking woman. The contrast between the two characters adds an interesting dynamic to the narrative. Their differences in background, culture, and even language create moments of genuine interaction that, at times, feel refreshing. The film also manages to deliver a few well-placed comedic moments, particularly when Chioma subtly corrects Obiora's grammar or mispronunciations. These light-hearted exchanges provide some charm and humor, offering brief but welcome relief from the film's shortcomings. While Love in Every Word struggles in execution, its core love story has potential. With better writing, stronger direction, and improved production quality, this dynamic could have been even more compelling. Let's break down the performances, starting with the two lead actors. Uzor Arukwe takes on the role of Chief Obiora, and for the most part, he does a commendable job embodying the character. This role seemed to come naturally to him, likely because he is Igbo himself. His mannerisms, gestures, and overall portrayal fit well. If you're viewing Obiora as one of those wealthy Alaba international businessmen. However, This is where the film stumbles. The director and writer failed to distinguish between a wealthy Igbo man and an Alaba international business mogul. While Uzor nails the mannerisms of a typical rich Igbo trader, his character lacks the finesse, sophistication, and presence expected of a truly wealthy Igbo elite. This mischaracterization makes Obiora feel more like a well-off market tycoon rather than the refined, high-society businessman the film wants us to believe he is. The portrayal leaned heavily on stereotypes rather than an authentic representation of Igbo affluence. Another noticeable flaw in Uzor's performance is his inconsistent accent. Obiora is meant to have a strong Igbo accent, yet, in several scenes, Uzor seems to forget this, slipping into more neutral or even polished speech. This inconsistency is distracting and weakens the believability of his character. That said, his chemistry with BamBam is one of the film's stronger points. Despite the often weak one-liner dialogue, their interactions feel genuine, making their love story somewhat engaging. Had the character been better defined and the writing more refined, Uzor's performance could have been much more impactful. BamBam Olawumi Adenibuyan takes on the role of Chioma, and much like Uzor Arukwe, her on-screen chemistry with him is strong and believable. One commendable aspect of her performance is her ability to pronounce certain Igbo words and sentences correctly, which adds some authenticity to her character. However, beyond this, BamBam's performance remains within her comfort zone, so much so that there is virtually no distinction between Chioma and BamBam from Big Brother Naija. There's no standout moment, no extraordinary display of acting depth. She wasn't bad, but she was just there. Her performance felt like an extension of her real-life personality rather than a well-crafted character. The real issue, however, lies in how poorly her character was developed. Chioma had strong potential, but both the writer and director failed to refine her arc. She lacked a detailed backstory, particularly regarding her supposed aversion to dating Igbo men, which was vaguely tied to her father. This crucial aspect was never fully explored, leaving her motivations weak and unconvincing. Then there's the glaring inconsistency in her character's behavior. When Chioma first meets Obiora, she is visibly enamored, only for the film to suddenly force a narrative that she refuses to date Igbo men because of their accent. Meanwhile, she continues going on dates with Obiora, accepting his gifts, all while the movie simultaneously pushes the idea that she's an independent woman who doesn't take money or gifts from men. It's a complete contradiction, making her character's stance on relationships utterly confusing. And let's not forget the absurd subplot where Chioma supposedly sees her father in Obiora. Instead of being a compelling emotional conflict, it feels like a weak and forced attempt by the writer to justify her indecisiveness about dating Obiora. In the end, Chioma is a character without clear definition, and the fault lies entirely in the writing. The film tries to sell her struggle as deep and meaningful, but instead, it comes off as inconsistent, shallow, and frustratingly incoherent. In summary, Love in Every Word will resonate with Nollywood fans and casual moviegoers who enjoy simple, straightforward stories without intricate plots. The film embraces romance with a light-hearted touch, making it an easy, feel-good watch, perfect for a relaxed evening, with friends, a bowl of guguru, and a chilled zobo. While the lead actors delivered decent performances, their efforts were undermined by a weak script and uninspired dialogue. The lack of a well-developed backstory, particularly for BamBam's character, made it difficult to fully connect with the emotional depth of the story. These missed opportunities prevented the film from reaching its full potential. The cinematography, lighting, sound design, and camera work was disappointingly lackluster, failing to enhance the film's storytelling. Despite its nearly 2-hour runtime, the movie squandered valuable time by neglecting detailed character development and compelling subplots. Ultimately, Love in Every Word is an enjoyable but forgettable experience. While it offers light entertainment, it falls short of being truly remarkable and is unlikely to warrant a second viewing. And now for my rating. Love in Every Word unfortunately scores a well-deserved 4 out of 10. I'm definitely trashing this. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for notifications. Also, be sure to follow me on TikTok, WhatsApp channel, and Instagram at Domino's Cinephile for more movie and TV series reviews. Domino's Cinephile, signing out.